Hey, what is going on, good people? And welcome back to the hunt for truth. Still got the delicious Irish beer vibes going on. So let's carry on the fun and get this woman cross-examinated immediately.
And mark my words, in this court of law today, we shall extract the truth.
Okay. So everyone's in agreement. Very nice.
Do you concur, counsels?
Certainly, my lord.
That's what I'm hoping for, my lord. Excellent. Bring it on. So, if that's happening now, are they replacing her juror seat, or is it going to be a jury of 5 now and just eliminating her opinion? Because surely she can't still be part of the jury. This is such a strange feeling. For the first time since arriving in this country, it actually feels real. What, the feeling of being a lawyer? I'm here in the Old Bailey, and I'm a lawyer. Hey. Why'd you got tea?
Witness, state your name and occupation.
Yes, my name is Joan Garrideb. Wobble. And I'm a juror. And such like. It sounds like even she doesn't know if she's a housewife, or a maid, or what anymore.
The court has decided your testimony is required in order to clarify matters in this case. Do you understand, madam?
Yes, my lord.
You will tell the court everything that took place in your household on the evening in question.
I kind of prefer Van Ziegs of the Cape, but pretty badass look either way.
And I warn you, do not attempt to hide the truth.
Oh dearie me. Oh, yo, is that the husband?
Chin up, Joni. Nothing to worry about now.
Oh, yo. Oh, I didn't know you were here, John. Why is it always doubles?
It wasn't only you in the room that day, old thing, was it? Rather think I ought to testify as well, don't you?
But what about your knee, dear?
Don't you worry about that. Hardly notice it. I'm not the sort of chap to leave a comrade to face disciplinary action alone.
Oh, John.
I presume you are Mr. John Garrideb? Yes, sir. Foreman, 2nd Lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment of the 4th Northumberland Fusiliers, sir. Seen my fair share of action and now living the quiet life, as it were.
The quiet life? Were you not engaged in an incendiary battle with your spouse on the day in question?
Ah, well, yes, quite. I believe this may represent a first in the proud history of the British court. Calling a juror to the witness stand is unprecedented. However, the court will hear your testimony now, juror number 4, and that of your husband. You will recount clearly and concisely the events in your home at the time of the incident in question.
Sir, at once. Alright, back into the firing line. Okay, so as always, we've got to hear them out first, and then we get to interact and scream, "Hold it!" So let's see what they've got to say. The Battle of Garrideb, of course. Yes, on the day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. Can't recall the reason now. Knocked a candlestick over and set fire to the carpet. Soon had it out though and got the window open. Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him.
Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I'd notice if 1 or 2 went missing, I'm afraid. If that bally thing in the victim's back really was one of ours, you'll have a job proving it, I think.
Has she got the tea there just to spill on his crotch in case he says something to incriminate them like before?
It sounds as though it was quite the battlefield in your household that evening.
Although an entirely one-sided assault, it seems.
The enemy caught us on the hop, sir. Had no choice but to dig in and take defensive measures. To be honest, if the enemy had kept shelling us for another minute, we'd have been toast. Of course, a veteran such as myself is only too aware that on every battlefield, you're just a gnat's whisker from death at any moment. Sounds a bit French, this tune. Are we still talking about a marital quarrel here?
Well, I must say I'm dubious that this testimony will shed any light on the origins of this jackknife.
In combat, one's focus narrows such that surroundings are barely noticed. These witnesses may not be able to offer anything more than they have testified already. This may be a dead end.
Convenient. Manzeeks may well be right. Well, whatever the chances, we only have this last cross-examination to uncover the truth. This is our last chance? Yes, I'm afraid so.
Very well, Counsel. Begin your cross-examination.
Right, when she says last chance, does that mean this is potentially the end of the case? Surely not. Okay, let's get the old safety save and move on. Save complete. Okay, let's just get pressing.
Hold it!
Hold it! I do not want to be clueless like we were a few episodes ago and have to use a walkthrough, so big brain mode, turn it on, power charging. Common sense rising. The reason is what you told us yesterday, I believe. Yes, that's right. If I remember correctly, it all started because of a note that was tucked into the pages of a book belonging to him. Oh yeah, she thought it was a love letter or something. A rather passionate note, in fact. But she found a note discovering her husband's little secret. And she gave him a mighty number of slaps across the face for it too. Oh yeah, it was almost like a tattoo. That savage imprint on his face.
What a sordid state of affairs.
Hell on earth.
I say, when a chap says he can't recall such things, it's common decency not to drag it all up. And besides, half of it was wide of the mark anyway.
A likely story. These waters run very deep.
And what transpired next after these multiple blows to the face?
Just calmly like, so what happened then after you got battered? Okay. We may not uncover anything here just because we did all that digging earlier to find out the window was open and all of that. But you never know. And the fire also spread to some items of furniture, didn't it? The bookcase, my armchair, anything of mine, really. Just so happens there was some bathwater around that evening, so I sloshed that about to put it out. Ew, old bathwater.
A most precarious situation you put yourself in.
Ours is a 3-story townhouse on the west side of the street, where the water main isn't connected yet. What, that's awful. Have to draw water from a public water pump during the day if you need any, you see. The lodgers are always moaning that they can't get any water at night. Although that little moustache Japanese man buys water in bottles, I believe. Is that relevant? The defendant, you mean? Is that relevant? Yes, he receives a stipend? For his studies, you know, from his home country. Can you imagine being able to brew a pot of tea at all hours? He's obviously very well off. Have you actually seen the state of the man? And he's got no windows in his room. I believe he used all of his income to buy books.
Well, anyway, the point is, I was able to douse the fire with water, fortunately enough.
Okay.
Hold it!
But was one of those things you threw a knife? Even though the room was on fire, you were throwing things?
As far as I was concerned at the time.
What a tiny cup. You'd just be eternally drinking tea in one sip.
It was more important to extinguish my anger than the flames. When a woman wants to throw, she must throw. That is most certainly not true of a Susato takedown.
How did she know I was thinking that? Oh man, that's good beer. So, please cast your mind back and try to remember. Was a knife among the items that you threw at your husband that day?
In all honesty, I don't recall, but I feel I must point out that I'm no monster. Let me see. Some bread, a cabbage, garlic, a towel, and a sponge. A napkin.
Whoa.
Excuse me.
We finally uncovered something. Do you have something to add, sir? Hey, 360 to pipe? That was nice. Slap that desk. I said, do you have anything to add?
Hey, don't shout. Sorry, beg your pardon.
Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind?
Nothing of any significance, no. Just that the barrage of projectiles the old thing launched in my direction was somewhat more solid than she implies. Books, bricks, and a fire poker, I seem to recall. Ouch. And the woman's aim is uncanny. She landed a direct hit with every volley. Ah, good grief, woman. We're not at home now. This is a court of law.
She brought tea in his pipe. Heresy.
Oh dearie me, ever so sorry, dear.
What's she even doing for teapot in here?
Honestly, John, I would never have thrown such things at you, obviously.
Pipe 360. Tip it out all over her face. Have some hot tobacco back.
Well, take a look at this then. How do you suppose that happened, your pipe, sir. Had the thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught.
Oh yeah, it's got all tape around it, right?
Knocked it clean out of one of her soft projectiles, she did. Yes. And when I went to pick the thing up, it was broken in two. I'd like to see a sponge do that sort of damage.
Very good point. I see your pipe was broken.
It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid.
I get that, mate, but you're kind of dropping your wife in the utter shit while you're under oath, which is bad.
Anyway, I've managed to bandage the thing up for now.
Wobble.
Ha, you are one to exaggerate, aren't you, dear?
I love Pipe 360. Such an amazing animation. Could be important. Because it's the only damn lead we've had so far. The defence believes her remarks just now, or his, to be of great significance.
Objection.
You shut your damn mouth.
This war veteran's words only tell us one thing. Betray a fiery wife, and pipes, as well as hearts, may be broken. Sentimental wisdom, perhaps, but hardly worthy of adding to the formal testimony.
Indeed, common sense, one might say.
Might one? No, don't take a life.
In any case, would you at least permit us to examine the pipe, sir?
Well, I don't see why not.
Oh dearie me, there you go again, trying to ingratiate yourself with a young lady.
Wobble.
Very well, the court will accept the gentleman's pipe as evidence.
Okay, let's examine that immediately.
I hope I didn't speak out of turn. I was just feeling rather disappointed for you that your request was turned down.
Oh no, it's fine. Thanks, however, we've got some new evidence to work with. We should examine it carefully.
Well, thank you for that rebuttal, Mr. Garadev. Now, if we could return to the crux of the matter. What can you tell the court about the knife used to attack the victim?
Okay, only 2 presses left. Let's quickly examine the pipe. Big old chip out of it. What is this? What's he doing? Just smoking a bit of plate? Oh, just something twinkled inside the chamber of the pipe there.
Yes, I saw it. Something stuck in there, I think.
Let's turn it over and give it a shake. What's this?
It's a tiny fragment of metal. It looks like the tip of a blade or something.
That is weird. The tip of a blade? Surely it couldn't be.
Nice. Oh, man.
Damn it, beer makes me tired. The worst side effect. It looks to be in a sorry state with that bandage around it, doesn't it? But for some reason it feels slightly ominous to me, like it's trying to shout out a warning. I know the cure. More beer! Probably because it's the same blue as Mr. Garrett's dressing gown. Hey, I've got a blue dressing gown. Classy.
I suppose it must have considerable sentimental value to him, given that he's gone to the trouble of repairing it like this.
Either that or he can't afford to replace it. Right, that'll do. Right, this is a tiny piece of metal we found in the chamber of the pipe.
It looks like the tip of a blade or something.
The tip of a blade?
Is something wrong?
I don't really know. There's just something niggling me, but I can't quite put my finger on what it is.
Perhaps in that case, it would be wise to examine some of the others.
Yeah. Like this one. Oh. That's very nice.
Oh, look here, just at the tip. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing.
Wait, part of it's missing? I could be wrong, but I've just got a feeling. You remember this?
Ah, that's the tiny fragment of metal that we found inside his pipe.
Now, there may be a chance already that whatever the answer is, or for which statement I mean, you're just meant to present the knife or the blade tip to progress. But these games can be quite dodgy. They do seem to iron out things as they go on, in my experience, and make things a bit more lenient. But stuff like this conversation we're having right now, you cannot get progression unless you've had this exact conversation where they both realise, oh, these 2 bits of evidence are connected. The game just will not assume the common sense and let you put it forwards as evidence. So, yeah, nice that we're having this conversation, but it may not actually be necessary. Yeah, just maybe. Oh my, it's a perfect fit. Somehow I just knew it. Right, confirmed. But it did not update the course record, which is a shame. So I guess we would just present the knife here, but we should press first, just in case the testimony gets changed and it gets even more blatant. That valley thing really was one of ours. Ah, yes. So it's probably going to be this statement instead of this. But just in case, let's double press. Hopefully present at the right point so we get a music stop, and then that'll be enough time for today, I'd say. Sorry, would you care to elaborate?
Nothing to say, really. Rather partial to a spot of carving, you see. Pipes and whatnot, fishing tackle, you know, the sort of thing.
It's a passion we both share. I like to carve little wooden trinkets too. And then there's my leatherwork.
Sorry to say we're always losing knives about the place, and we have dozens of the things.
Wobble. They sell them in the market sometimes. 20 for the price of 19. Needless to say, I snap them up. He prefers to use 2 knives at meal times too, instead of a knife and fork.
What an animal! Unless you're eating a steak, that's pretty gangster. Just 2 knife it. Yeah.
Now, Joan, we don't want people thinking I'm some...
What? kind of savage. Ah! Here we go again after scoldings. Why are they being so evasive?
I imagine it's because they don't want to believe it. They can't bear the thought that it might have been one of their knives that injured the victim.
Which is entirely understandable, of course, but still.
Go on of your testimony, witnesses.
Sir. Nice. Final press.
Hold it.
So you got no intention of admitting it was your knife unless we can produce proof. He's starting to sweat, that's good. Smash that desk, even though there is no other credible possibility if he's innocent.
Objection.
This is quite far-fetched, even though it may be slightly credible.
You forget, my Nipponese friend, that it is yet to be established that the accused is not responsible for the attack.
As if I could forget. If only there was some way to know who had handled the knife. Well, I suppose wizardry like that is just a dream. Yep, that's a far distant future dream.
Perhaps you're thinking of fingerprinting.
What? You mean it's not a dream? That sort of wizardry really exists?
Whenever people touch anything, they leave behind a unique pattern from their skin, or so they say.
But I can't see anything.
There are already countries in the world where these so-called fingerprints can be used as evidence. Lord Strongheart is currently discussing the matter at the Ministry of Justice.
Hey, nice. I wonder if in the fifth and final case in this game, so our very next case, if we will be something like the first case using fingerprint stuff as a trial run. That'd be pretty cool.
Yes, I believe we are rapidly approaching an era of scientific methods of investigation.
But for now, we shall have to find an alternative method of proving our assertion that this knife found in the victim's pack was originally in their house.
Ugh, if only I could transplant this whole incident to several years in the future. No, so now we get the hint, so I'm going to use the tip as opposed to the actual knife. That's the extent of their testimony, is it?
What do you think?
Well, I think we've heard all this before, to be honest. Can't say I'm particularly confident that we'll be able to prove anything new from this testimony.
But in this cross-examination, it's absolutely essential that we establish how this knife came to be at the scene of the incident.
Yes, I know.
I'm sure both of them must be feeling very worried. Worried that it was in fact a knife belonging to one of them that caused the victim's injury. If we could find even a tiny shred of evidence to support that theory, it would clinch this trial for us. It would explain everything.
Damn, wrong voice.
Yes, it would.
So for his sake, we must find that last crucial piece of evidence. Okay, quick mash, come on, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, quick safety save. And then put the tip in.
Objection.
Hey, we got a music stop. Could I ask you to take a good look at this, please?
You can ask, but I can't see a bunny thing.
You can't?
Used to call me Dead-Eye Deb back in the regiment, of course. But that was some time ago now, even when I'm trying to enjoy a large print book by the fire these days. I struggle to tell a B from a D and a P from a Q, to be honest.
Hold on, will that come in handy at some point?
Oh, he does. Dearie me, it's rather wearing being asked about every other letter.
Oops.
In every other word.
You must be very dizzy. Right, on that weird pun / joke, let's leave it there. Because that'll be a weird one to come back to next time. Righty guys, if you like the looks of any of the suggested videos flooding your screen at this second, check some of them out, and more importantly, let me know what you thought, because you know I love that truthful feedback hole there. Speaking of which, let's finish the old beer. Successful double episode in the books. If you've missed any of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles so far, then catch up. But of course, guys, the main thing as always, I hope you're well. Thanks for watching. See you again next time.